This is Driving Solutions, exclusively on CPTnews.com.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on another edition of Driving Solutions right here at CPTnews.com. Joining us now is our good friend, Mr. Len Short, the chairman of LotLinx. There is a brand you have heard so much about over the years. They're doing amazing things. We want to talk to Len about some of the amazing things that they're up to and some of the things you can look forward to at NADA coming up in just a few weeks. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule and joining us, Len.
Well, thank you, sir. Great to be here, and Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year to you as well. So let's kind of jump in here. What do you think are the biggest challenges that are facing dealers today as we head into 2025?
Yeah, I went out and spoke to a lot of owners, the last couple of quarters. And, one guy was saying to me, my guys, business is starting to get a little stiff here. And they're saying, well, when's it going back to normal? And he says, I just smile because it's going back to normal, right? They just don't know. They haven't seen normal, right? The normal car business is a very tight, competitive business, as we all know. All of us veterans have been around for a while, and, certainly owners know that. And we're seeing that in inventory trends, right? The big issue that we're watching is carryover, right? Inventory carryover. And it's something that dealers know about. I don't know if they pay a lot of attention to it these days. They're going to going forward because, it has a profound impact on their profitability. I was just pulling up some data from some random dealers that we've been talking to recently, and their carryover rates are rising, especially on new. Used is doing a little bit better, but we're up. We were ended the year last quarter at about a 45% average carryover rate for new car dealers. It's now 56%. So more inventory is hanging around. We all know this is a great business when you sell on time.
That's right.
When you sell new inside of 45 days, it's a great business. The problem is, if you don't, it gets complicated. New and used, it's a little tighter. You got to sell in 30, and when you don't, you go from a positive gross to a negative gross.
That's right. And it takes away those aged units, take the gross profits or the smaller gross profits, steal from the larger ones that you made on the less than 30-day-old inventory.
Exactly. I mean, they'll eventually sell through that inventory, but it's going to be a drag month after month on their gross.
That's right.
And that's, so the whole game, as we all know, I mean, the basic retail is how much and how fast can you put inventory through?
That's right.
And so watching that carryover rate is really key. And what we see, so for instance, a dealer will sell, I'm looking at one here, he's running at 43% carryover. So he's better. He's a Ford store. He's doing pretty well, actually, compared to other Ford stores. He's carrying over 43% of his inventory. If you look at what he's selling on time, his average days to sale for the units he sells within 45 days is 12. But as soon as he crosses that 45-day mark, his average jumps up to 98 days.
Wow.
And we see this consistently across the board. Once it goes bad, it goes, significantly bad. And this is a very profitable store. He's looking at $4,500 in front-end gross on the units he's selling on time.
Nice.
So that's a really solid number.
Yeah, for a Ford store.
Less than half on the units that he's carrying over. And that's where over 95% of his markdowns are. We all know it, right? We do time-based markdown. So that's what's happening. They hang around, you start slashing price. And the big issue is, 76% of new car markdowns are followed by nobody shopping the car and then another markdown, right? So you carry it over, you say, okay, I got a problem, I got to mark it down. You mark it down, nothing happens. As a matter of fact, on average, it takes just shy of 4 markdowns to move the unit.
Wow.
Right. So once you're in that markdown cycle, it gets kind of tough. And that's what really drags you down. So the whole game is, how do I make sure that I'm executing at a very efficient, timely basis on my just landed inventory. And if something's going to be a problem, how do I move on that fast, right, before I get into that markdown cycle? And there is massive leverage in that. And you may say, some dealers may say, well, listen, I'm doing everything I can to sell. But this is where technology and AI comes in.
That's right.
Right. There are some significant advantages when you let a machine predict what's going to, where the troubled units are.
That's right.
And attack them up front.
So how are dealerships currently experiencing challenges in adapting AI technologies, and what barriers prevent widespread implementation?
Yeah, I think dealers right now all know they've got to assemble, clean up, and leverage their first party or their proprietary data. And there's a lot of working, they're hearing about CDPs, right? Customer data platforms.
Yep.
And I've got, a CRM, but it doesn't really do much for me. And I need to, and that's an expensive thing to do. And what we find is that's just the ante, right? You got a CDP and now you're just drowning in data. What you need is to be able to activate that data. Mm-hmm. And you've got to mash your proprietary data with other third-party proprietary data to actually get the spark of life, right? Mm-hmm. It's not only what's going on in your store, but what's going on out there. You bring those two things together, and that's what we've created. We've created a inventory data platform for dealers. It's a turnkey solution. It ingests their DMS data, their CRM data, and then takes it a step further and then allows them to activate that data. Mm-hmm. Right. So if you go out and spend, hundreds of thousands of dollars on building a CDP, you're going to get done with that very complicated process and say, okay, now what?
Right. Right.
And so it's really what we call agentic applications that take that data and then do something on your behalf with it.
Right.
And that's really, we're trying to make it very simple for dealers to do this, because the last thing they need is more cost and more complication in their business.
Oh, there's no question about it. Hey, beyond chatbots and basic automation, what deeper transformative potential do you see for AI in inventory management and pricing strategies?
Yeah, I'll give you a couple of examples. One of the things that has just popped for us is dealers are, as we know, they're doing markdowns, they're reviewing their pricing. And, meanwhile, they're taking leads. But often they're marking down cars, that have live leads that they're working on. Mm-hmm. And when we point this out, we have an agentic AI that will notify them of that. Mm-hmm. Now, I suppose the guy could go into his vAuto and then he could go into his CRM and say, before he moves price, do I have any leads on this car? But way too often is that happening. Another thing that we see is rampant is, most leads will come down on hot cars. So if, I got 100 leads last month, 75 of them were on 2 or 3 units.
Right.
And here's the problem. As soon as that unit sells, dealers mark those leads as dead. But they're not dead.
They're not dead. Right. It's a car buyer.
They're not. Yeah, I know dealers, I'm not criticizing them. This is complicated stuff to do to get the discipline on, but often there's another, they have inventory that would be very relevant to that buyer, but they're not actually presenting that inventory.
That's right.
To that live lead. They're just saying, marked it dead. And that's a massive cost. And agentic AI can do that the way that you and I would do it if we were sitting with all the information in a bunch of computer screens and doing it all day long. It's doing nothing that we wouldn't do if we had all the data. It's just doing it relentlessly.
That's right. And we know that 80% or better of the consumers that come in for a specific car always drive out in a different vehicle. Yeah. So it's like, why would you waste those leads, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we can pick up, listen, we're showing dealers this. Listen, you marked all these as dead.
Yeah.
This guy just visited this competitive dealer. This guy is searching this unit right now online.
That's right.
They're not dead.
Nope.
Okay.
They're anything but.
So again, I just kind of simplistically, this is what smart data and agentic applications can do for you. And really, this is what I heard from owners. They're saying, "Listen, I'm all in. I'm just waiting for the applications. Like, I know why I should be doing this. I'm all in." But you got to show me the stuff that works.
Yeah.
Right. Because the last thing I need is another complicated thing to manage in my business, you know? And so that's what we're trying to do, is lead them to that future in very easy to digest, bite-sized pieces.
Sure.
And, I can tell you though, Jim, we launched the Sentinel thing. I think I talked to you about it last time.
Yep.
these dealers just running away with their markets,
Jeez.
right? And this is what's going to happen. They're going to be the haves and have-nots,
Right.
right? And so you're going to be. It's like the internet. As Rebecca, this is what the owners would say, and they would, when I was talking about this, they'd say, it's like the beginning of the internet. We were all sitting around saying, "Hey, is this real? People really going to buy cars online?" Then we'd see that some guy, he got on it and he ran off with it, and then we figured, well, we got to catch up,
That's right.
So they told me consistently, this is going to be bigger than that.
Right.
And I don't want to blow smoke here or sort of hype anything, but I don't think they're wrong. I think this is going to have a equal, or if not greater, impact on retail, automotive than the internet itself.
Yeah, there's no question, and you're right. I've spoken to a number of dealers from CBT News here that have felt kind of the same way about AI as they did about the internet and the internet revolution. What specific operational improvements do they anticipate that justify such a comparison?
Yeah, I think really it's just sort of the timing of markdowns and the accuracy. We all know dealers wait too long and then they mark down too much.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So if you can use, a smart machine to sort of fix that timing and make sure you're not as I said, why are there 4 markdowns? All of our stuff shows you don't have to undercut the competition. You just got to get priced right against the competition. Then you got to bring in demand. Yep. And there is massive gross to be gained by getting that execution really tight.
There's no question.
Yeah.
No question.
We're seeing $500+ in incremental gross per unit just by letting a machine sort of manage the timing. It's holding more gross. Right, it's wow. Doing a better job across the board, and so listen, dealers have complicated jobs.
Yeah.
Whenever somebody comes along and say, well, they should be doing this, I said, you ever been in a dealership? The GM's working 70 hours a week, man, or more.
Yeah.
He's juggling a million balls.
That's
He's
right.
got a lot of problems
That's
and
right.
stuff. So don't tell me he's not doing his job. It's just the job is bigger than a human. And really what we need is some machine help.
That's right.
Right? An agent, an assistant that helps you make sure. I hear it from our dealers. They always ask me, listen, if you could just do one thing, just tell me my next move, my next best move.
Yeah.
Don't boil the ocean. Just boil it down for me. What do I do next?
Right. That's right.
To win this month.
That's right.
And that's what we're all about, is make it very simple for them to make better decisions and have better execution.
What risk do dealerships face if they delay integrating advanced AI technologies in their operations? I mean, what's the downside if they hold off?
I think what's happening is, and as you well know, the car business is a tight business. So I think we're going back to when I first got into this, I was shocked to learn that a new car dealer was lucky to break even on his new car business.
That's right.
That's
right.
And so, I think what's happening is we're back to those, tough economics, that challenging environment. And, you're going to have you've got to find efficiencies in everything you do. Dealers are, half the money they're spending on advertising is a complete waste.
Yeah.
They got to find the efficiencies in that. It could be a great business, as I point out. Listen, you sell a car in time, you sell within 45 days, it's an awesome business.
That's right.
You can print money if you get your execution right.
Yeah.
And that's really what I think the ones, if they miss this boat, if they're playing catch up, it's going to be a tough game to catch up on. Just think back to the internet. If you were playing catch up on the internet, you don't want to be in that position again.
No. It cost you so many opportunities, so many gross dollars, net dollars. There's no question about it. And so, I agree with you. I think we're in the same scenario now. The dealers that are early adopters to AI and machine learning and all that goes with that to run their dealerships better, they're going to come out the winner, especially in 2025 when every single dollar counts. We just came off of 3-4 years of great gross profits and such, but it's back to normal, as your friend said, and it's a situation of trying to get every single dollar you can. And to your point, you get in that first 45 days. That's the key. As soon as you start having to discount that inventory because it's aging, you're in trouble. That's when you're in the deep end of the pool, right?
Hey, listen, dealers know what's coming. They're going to walk into NADA this year, and everybody's going to be saying, "We got AI. Oh, AI this, AI that, AI." Because remember, I try to ban that word from our team. We call it the machine, right?
Yeah.
Or machine learning.
Yeah.
We try not to use AI because it is bandied around, and I will just say, and I don't want to sound like a tech snob, but most of the stuff that's out there is just very simple LLM, large language model stuff pasted on top of old school technology.
Sure.
It's kind of a party trick. It's not really what, if you were in this business, you would call AI.
Yeah.
And so the agentic applications, that's what's going to start to change everything. So, dealers know, okay, here it comes. I'm going to be listening to a bunch of vendors come in and say, "You got to buy this today." It's a whole new world, and I got a new thing for you to buy. And I feel sorry for them on that.
But don't you
it's hard to sort out.
Don't you think there's going to be a class of people out there, or a group of people, of dealers that go, Len Short talked about this, almost 10 years ago, and he told us this is the future of the auto industry. Get on now. Because you guys at LotLinx have designed this thing and have been preaching this forever. And you've perfected it. It's a phenomenal product, without a doubt. These are the solutions that we want to be bringing you dealers out there. NADA is right around the corner. Be sure to stop by Len's booth. It's LotLinx. We'll show the information on the screen here as to the booth number and such, but make sure he's on your short list. This is something that now is the time, folks, 2025. Don't wait. Learn the entire story. Len, you'll be in the booth, won't you, as you usually
Absolutely.
are? Right?
And,
yeah.
What we're doing here, my whole mantra this year is, listen, I don't want anybody selling anything. I want everybody just showing the product.
Yeah.
Like showing what it does.
Right.
And, and so we've got some great content. Jen Suzuki and others will be speaking at our booth.
Yep.
Hopefully she's amazing, and
Oh, no
we're
question.
doing some things with lead handling that are going to blow your mind as it comes out. So, but I think if they want to come down and see what the real thing is, we'll just show them.
This is not something you're going to want to pass on or miss at NADA this year. I'm telling you, you might even see some of your competition there, because I'm telling you, this is the year. Okay, embrace it, understand it. They'll give you a clear presentation of it. There's no selling. The selling actually takes place in the presentation, because I'm telling you, folks, once you see it, you're going to go, sign me up. This is a no-brainer. And I've been around the car business a long time, so I know what I'm talking about here. So, Len, thank you so much, and appreciate you coming in today to share some of your thoughts and some exciting things that you're working on at LotLinx. So congratulations.
And I will see you in New Orleans.
You got it. Thanks so much.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thanks for watching Driving Solutions, exclusively on CPTnews.com.